and you're feeling all alone. Only you to hold your own. No one there to help you. Only there to hold you down. So stop. Don't beat up yourself. 'Cause it's everyone else. So don't look down. Look up around. 'Cause you are better. I can see that when the fire gets started, it takes a lot of tears to wash away. When they come and make you feel downhearted, don't hide away. And now it's feeling like the longest day. It's getting harder to find the will to stay. You gotta find the strength inside of you, so don't hide away. I can see that when the fire gets started, it takes a lot of tears to wash.
Well, hey there, folks. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world today. Welcome to another exciting episode of The Battles We All Face, the only show that helps you get from where you are to where you want to be, whether it's to do with business, finance, personal, or spiritual. This is the show that talks about it all. And I want to thank you guys so much for all your comments and all your questions from last week's show, all about bullying. We've had a whole host of different ideas and topics there. But we'll talk about that later on today because we've got a really special show for you today. Of course, I've got to bring in and welcome my lovely co-host today. Joe, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. It's the first days of spring over here. Things are really warming up, really ramping up, and things are really taking off from a business point of view as well. So it's all good. But aside from that, Joe, tell us what we have in store for today's show.
Oh my goodness. We're going to talk about something I'm so uncomfortable with. And it's going to be, how we're supposed to eat, how we're supposed to work out, all that wonderfulness. But we have someone so special that's going to come and talk to us about it and talk us through it. And it's the amazing 3-time kickboxing champion, Anthony Cruz.
Hey, Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing, guys?
Doing well, my friend, doing well. So, Joe, the floor is yours, really. What have you got in mind? I know surprise and shocks here, but what have you got in mind? What would you like to start with in today's show?
Well, first of all, we need to talk about how important it is to take care of ourselves from early on in life, not just when we start getting a little bit older and start feeling things a little bit differently. I think that is so important. And so few people do it nowadays.
Absolutely. And it does, like we said last week, it all begins from conditioning, really from childhood. Anthony, what was your background? Is this something you've always been interested in, something you've always done? When did fitness and this kind of lifestyle really start to play a role in your life?
Well, at 6 years old, my father, Army veteran from New York, being his first son, being born and raised in the Bronx, New York, he was not raising no punks. So at 6 years old, he started teaching martial arts. And of course, I took it from 6 years old until now. I'm 49 years old now, and I've been doing it all my life. For 20 years, when I was not doing martial arts and competing and traveling, I was managing 2 gyms in Soho, New York, also training celebrities like Anderson Cooper, Eric Dane, Topher Grace, Vanessa Carlton, and the list goes on and on and on. So, 20 years, besides my martial arts background and training, I was also a celebrity trainer.
That is so cool. I mean, you and I I think the three of us, in fact, have got so much in common from very, very different areas. Me, it wasn't so much with the martial arts, but certainly in the world of wrestling. For me, I was wrestling, from the time of the cradle, and always loved it, always loved amateur wrestling, the physical contact that went alongside with it, but also the discipline that's there.
That's right.
Talk to us a little bit about the discipline side of things and really what it takes. And again, it's that mindset, it's that focus of, getting up and doing what you need to do, which like you said, a lot of people, they don't seem to do that a whole lot these days. What is the mindset going into to really the training in the martial arts?
Well, I think now more than ever, people are not patient enough. They want everything quick. They want everything quick. They want a quick fix. They want a magic pill, a magic drink, a magic workout.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. There is no such thing. When it comes to fitness, certain things takes time. Certain things take time because it takes time the discipline got to be there. If you really want it, you stay there for the long haul. Otherwise, you're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they want a quick pill, drink, whatever. Listen, it never works. It never works. To just like it took a long time to get out of shape, it take a long time to get back in shape. Unfortunately, that's how the body is. You're not gonna change it. I don't care how many drugs you take. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what discipline kicks in. Because if you want something, it takes time. Do it slowly, progressively. You see a lot of guys every New Year they have a New Year resolution. You know what I'm saying? And it never works. Or by the thousand. It never works because again they want a quick fix. Fitness is a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix. It's not a short-term thing. It's a lifestyle. If you want to be in shape, and you rather be in shape than being sick or tired or overweight, well, you make it a lifestyle. You have to train like I do. Twice a day, 4 times a week. I'm a professional athlete, but half an hour a day is enough. And try different things. One day you run, one day you bike, one day you swim, one day you lift weights. There's so many things you could do, and not to make it boring. So now more than ever, it's funny. Like America is one of the gym business in America is so big, yet not even half of the population really works out.
Crazy, isn't it?
So as big the business is for fitness and gym and gym equipment and buying equipment at home and all this stuff, still not even half of the population really works out and works out regularly. That's where discipline comes in. It's not to do it once in a while. No. You do it regularly. Make it part of your routine, part of your life.
I completely agree. And, that's what a lot of people, forget is this has to be something that's sustainable. When folks ask, either Joe or myself all the time, again, like you said, Anthony, they're looking for the quick fix. Can you cure my anxiety like that? And I'm like, yeah, I can. But until you actually understand why you've got it, how you got it, and how you developed it yourself, you will never, ever understand how to get rid of it. And it's the same with making money. It's the same with fitness. It has to be sustainable. And, I've been in the art world and the creative world now in business for the past 20 years. And the one thing, whenever we talk about this, is people always say, well, don't write a book about it. Just tell us how to do it, as if there's one answer.
Right.
But as you know, and I know, and Joe, you know this as well, for me, it was the wrestling and the bodybuilding side of things. It's a jigsaw. It's literally you start with one piece and then another and then another and then another. And I was having this conversation with a friend the other day that if you try to start a business, and many people do, there's statistically 25,000 people in the US alone every year start a business. 24,900 of them go within the first year because of exhaustion, because they don't know how to maintain themselves, guide themselves, all that kind of stuff. And you have to be in this for the long haul. It's like you wouldn't plant a seed, and I love gardening, and you wouldn't plant a seed and expect a flower to show up the next day. It's very rare that happens. And if you try and rush it, that's where so many mistakes come and so many injuries come. And like you said, steroids may give you big muscles now, but it's also going to get anabolic steroids, are going to give you big muscles now, but you still got to put in the work. Your future health is going to be greatly diminished. Your heart will enlarge. There's so many more problems when you try to rush anything in life, and like you said, I've been bodybuilding now since I was 13. I'll be 34 on Sunday. So I've been doing this, for 21 years. That was the dedication that I had to it, and it still is to this day, but I've had to change things, like you rightly said, as time goes on. What are your thoughts, Joe?
Well, what I'm really sad about is you're telling me that I can't go and be a bodybuilder or a professional athlete in like a week, and that's sad to me. But
that was only the way.
But you're right. There's so many things, and I've been one of those people that's like, okay, how can I get this in 2 weeks, or so on and so forth, and it's sad that there's so many things out there telling people that they can when it's really you can't, or if you do attempt, you're going to get hurt in some way, shape, or form. And that's so so important for people to know. Yes, I want to get my body in 2 weeks, but
I mean, you'll certainly increase in 2 weeks compared to, if you did nothing. But it's these guys, like you said there, John, I think that's really important to touch on. The folks that are very good marketers that say, guys, if you drink this powder or you eat, whatever it is, you're going to have an amazing body. It's taken me 20 years to get 18-inch arms and an A50-inch chest. That and part of that is because of my metabolism. My frame is a slight build, but I don't put on fat that much. So I'm always lean. So it's much harder to do, but you've got to be willing to do it for the long haul. And that's like anything in life. There's your take home. Number one take home, folks. You got to do it and you got to sustain it. And it's got to be for the long term.
I blame the fitness industry, you know what I'm saying? Because they push, all these supplements, all these drugs, all these quick fix programs that really don't work, and really selling really healthy lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every time you pick up a magazine, it's like 6 weeks to get abs, I mean, you buy this pill, you get big, like, it's like, the fitness industry, the supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah. And yet again, more than half of the Americans are still fat or way out of shape. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So again, quick fix don't work. You know what I'm saying? I understand sometimes we think we're so smart and we're not, because you know that being in shape is not easy. It takes time. I don't care how much powder I drink, how much pills I put down my throat. Listen, enjoy it. Do it slow, enjoy it, learn, because everybody's different. Whatever works for him. I told guys, I remember one time in New York, I was with one of my clients when first movie Tomb Raider came about with Angela Jolie, and she comes to the office. Anthony, I want to look like her, okay? And I'm like, well, it's funny because the next day, the day before, I read an article about Angela Jolie. She was like working out six hours a day, doing martial arts, conditioning, acrobats, So I told straight up, listen, you want to look like her? Well, if you have nothing better to do, if you're not working, you're not a mom, you got all day to train it, then you can look like her. 1 hour a day is not gonna do it. No. When I said that, she looked disappointed. I'm like, people don't like the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They think again, the people get like that, quick fix. No, you have to put up the time. That's it. And,
well, further in your point there, I know we've talked about this on every episode of this show so far and on other shows, the importance of educating yourself. Because I want to pull this point out deliberately with regards to the fitness industry and specifically protein powders, the amount of times that people will get the protein powder, doesn't matter the brand, they won't look at the ingredients, they won't look at all the stuff that's there, and they just think, man, this is going to make it big and huge. What you don't actually realize is this stuff is loaded with sugar. This is the stuff they're telling you about. Who knows what's in it? Because bear in mind, folks, you could and they actually, did this in a social science experiment. They took bottled bleach, powdered it down, and put it on a market just to see if someone would buy it as a protein powder, and they did. And the amount of people that were told, you need to stop. And that's the conditioning of the mind now, because it's this competitive, nature where people have actually forgot, they're less focused on the inner stuff that's going on and the self-management, and they're more focused on the outside and how they look. Now, don't get me wrong, when you're out and about and you look good and everything, it's fine. But if your inner core is rotten, and this protein powder, trust me, I've been there, folks, and Anthony's been there. We can talk about this. I can tell you the damage that stuff does to you, because in a weekend, I took an entire kilo of that stuff because I believed that, oh my goodness, yes, and this is when I was a teenager, didn't know any better. It made my stomach bleed. Now that tells you how much sugar's in there, how much garbage is in there. And when you start learning as you get older, and that was probably one of the biggest contributing factors to my body having colitis. But when you start to understand that rather than living a lifestyle to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you aren't willing to do what Arnold did in the 70s and the 80s, it's not gonna happen. Get there. And that means, talking about the steroids, talking about, living that life, like Anthony was saying, of in the gym all the time, no family, no friends. If you watch the documentary Pumping Iron, he is the most iron, but he's the most iron wooden clad person on the planet, and it's just like, oh my goodness, the guy had zero personality that was going on. This is the reality. So you want something that's more sustainable. Yes, you want to take care of yourself, but you want to do it for the long haul. Because trust me, These bodybuilders that are taking the powders and the drugs and all the other stuff that's there, again, the extreme, in their 50s, in their 40s, even in their 30s, they're going to have issues. One of our friends, actually, Anthony, you'll know this guy from the world of wrestling in Triple H. He's just actually announced his retirement because he has had, what was it, a pulmonary heart bypass as a result from almost heart failure. Now, nobody came out and said, oh, it's directly linked to steroids. But, you know, that's certainly going to play a part. But more importantly, I think, you know, again, the athletic heart tends to be a little bit more enlarged anyway. But at the same point, that lifestyle and everything, you know, but he did that and he was willing to do what he needed to do to get to where he is. And, you know, it's for people to decide. So that's the initial thoughts.
So let me ask.
Yeah.
What supplements should we take? Is there supplements that people should take? How do you determine what's wrong and what's right?
Who are you asking it for first, Joe?
Oh shit, both. No, Anthony, go ahead and answer that.
You know, I think, you know, supplement have their place if you know where to look. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. You know, a good multivitamin mineral will do it. It comes from a good, you know, always trust the good name, good big company. Don't just trust just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because again, a lot of them teach you sell you garbage. Make sure it's all natural. A good vitamin mineral, a good vitamin C. You know, if you could get some either, you know, protein bars or protein shake, but it comes with a good source. They make sure it's, you know, real, not added, other chemical, nothing. That's it. You don't need nothing else. You don't need nothing else. You just keep it as simple as possible. Eat as well as possible. High protein, medium carbs, low fat. Make sure you work out regularly. You know, not just once or twice a week. That's not gonna do it. The body does two things. It's simple. What you burn or you restore it. That's it. Okay. So if you don't burn it, you're gonna restore it. You know, if you're not active enough, you want to be active, but then you're not active enough to burn enough calories. But even that little will add up, and then it goes 1 pound fat, 2 pound fat, and then you're wondering why you're getting big even though you work out. Well, because you're not doing enough to burn. You know what I'm saying? Not only what you're eating, what you really have in your body. It's not easy. It takes time. You know, you know. So, you know, keep it simple. You know, don't try to do it hard. Build your discipline little by little. It takes days, weeks, and months, and make it your lifestyle. You know, health is not a short-term goal. Like, well, yeah, I'm gonna get ready for the summer. I want to look good for my wedding. You know, no. Your health is a long-term thing. You know, especially as you get older. As you get older, your health is not a luxury; it's a necessity. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, you don't care. But as you get older, it's not a luxury; it's a necessity to be healthy and maintain, you know, that longevity for years to come. Otherwise, you want to be having a bunch of pains and health problems that you should take care of when you were young in your 30s and your 40s, and still waiting for your 50s and your 60s.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I've got kind of a widespread question here, and of course, you know me, I can't not. But how should people work out differently? Should men work out differently than women? Should adults work out differently than children? John, what do you think about that?
You know, I think you've got to find what works for you. You know, and you know, like Anthony was saying, you find what works for you, and that's what you start to build in. So you got to do things that you enjoy, because otherwise you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna stick with it. Just following a little bit of Anthony's point with regards to diet and things like that, a lot of the stuff that you supplement, and this depends where you are in the world, of course, but a lot of the stuff that you supplement actually is produced naturally in your body anyway. A lot of the stuff that people are paying, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for is naturally occurring in your body. Protein things I'm not the big fan of, because you can only absorb 12 grams of it before it becomes expensive urine. And people will pay 40, 50, 60, $100 per tub of this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So again, you know, do your study, realize that a lot of stuff is already naturally occurring in your body. Again, like Anthony was saying, you know, for me, I'm very wary now of supplements and diets, even if it is from bigger corporations and things. I tend to go more with natural foods, and I get most of my protein from my foods and just a well-balanced diet as well. And that's worked for me for the past 5 years. But to answer your question, Joe, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect a child, for example, to try and bench press 500 pounds. It has been done. It has been done once. But the reality is that there was a kid actually called Little Hercules. I think he was from either the Ukraine or
him. Him.
But I mean, this kid had abs on top of abs, and but again, no life that was going on. So I think, again, like Anthony was saying, ideally what you want to do is you want to start young. Like everything that we've said, you want to start young, and you want your kids to start young. That's going to condition them, because like we've always talked about, you are going to be conditioned in one way or another. You're either conditioned to succeed or conditioned to fail. It really is as simple as that. And if you're conditioning yourself that every day you're going to get up and get in the gym, or for me, it's every other day. And I do 3 different variations in the gym. I'll do a light session, I'll do a moderate, and then I'll do heavy on, 3 consecutive days. But we do a lot of walking as well. I've got friends of mine that love swimming, that love rock climbing, that love mountain climbing, that love all the different fitness DVDs that are out there. I think finding what works for you, but my ultimate thing, I think more than anything, would be some form of yoga that's in there as well. Ideally, something that Sadhguru from the Aisha Foundation has put together, because that deals with inner management as well. Obviously, something that we're really big on here, because if you don't deal with your inner stuff, your outside world, no matter how good it looks, it's just not going to be fun. So I would definitely say that, some form of yoga, keep stretching, no matter your age, because the more or the older you get, the less supple your body gets. So keep stretching, keep that flexibility. Yeah.
There's 3 levels of fitness. Okay. You got endurance, strength, flexibility.
Yeah.
So you want to be as rounded as possible. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a good stretching routine, a good strength routine, a good endurance, stretching, and strength routine. You know what I'm saying? Because you need all 3. You know what I'm saying? Unless you train sport specifically, that's different. If you're a linebacker, you're gonna train for that. If you're a boxer, you train for that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a regular person, like we call weekend warrior, you want to do things for your health. Not you want. That's a problem that a lot of people have today. They're training, but they want to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the magazine. He has his chest workout. Yeah, that's his chest workout, not yours. You know what I'm saying? That's his leg workout, not yours. What works for him doesn't work for you. It took him years to come up with that routine for him, for whatever reason it is. You gotta find out what works for you. You know what I'm saying? You're not even at that level yet. You know what I'm saying? I see that all the time. Be like, oh, I want legs like him. Well, guess what? It took him 10 years to get there.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay. And God knows how many drugs and sacrifice, and you guys do one workout and the next day you don't want to come to work out. I mean, you want legs like him, it's not gonna happen, So, be realistic with your goals. That's one. You're not George Clooney or this guy or that. You. Okay. You're not yeah. You're not competitive bodybuilder. You're not an actor where they pay you for whatever month, whatever weeks to train to look good for a particular role. If you're a father, you work, you got limited time. Well, you got to do according to what you have. You know what I'm saying? You got only half an hour to squeeze. Okay, you got half an hour to squeeze. But you know what I'm saying? But be realistic with your goals. So don't try to see a magazine or read an article, be like, oh, he did this, so I'm gonna do this to look like him. No, be realistic. See who you are and what you are about. Be in shape. Be in shape doesn't look like somebody like that, because a lot of those guys, they look in shape, they're not in shape. They have a bunch of health problems that comes along with that. Taking your body to that extreme anywhere, no matter what sport you do. Anytime you take your body to the extreme, health problem follows, but because that's not normal. That's not normal.
And yet that's something that's being encouraged more and more now all over the world. I'm noticing this.
Oh, of course, because for years, that's like the line, like, oh, that's healthy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you got to look like that. Oh my God, no. Listen, anywhere of the table is bad. If you're too little or nothing, that's bad. If you're too much and overdo it, that's not good either. You know what I'm saying? Every time you take your body to the extreme, yeah, he's a champion and he broke records, but that's not normal. It's very few. 1% population will achieve what he achieved or will go to that level where he went to that level. That's not normal. It takes a real like they were saying, there's always a thin line between insanity and genius. You know what I'm saying? Because we take your body to that extreme. That's not normal. That's a mentality that very few have, to take their body, the athleticism, whatever, to that point. A regular dad cannot do that. I'm sorry. A regular guy cannot do that. A regular guy who has a job cannot do that. You're not even doing a percent what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Be realistic with your goals. Be realistic with your goals. And yeah, like you said, you could do it as natural as possible because you're not a professional athlete. I tell people all the time, even my clients, listen, you're not a professional athlete, so you need to train as hard as I do because you're not at that level. You're not even a top amateur. You know what I'm saying? Just eat as healthy as possible. It's already there, natural. You need to buy more than that. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you drink plenty of water. Two things that people today don't do: drink plenty of water and get enough rest.
Yes.
And as you get older, you need that more than ever because water and sleep. You only recover when you sleep. You only get all your stress out when you sleep. If you don't recover, if you don't relax and sleep, just because of not sleeping enough, that alone creates a lot of health problems. So that's two simple things that doesn't require no money. Drink water, more water regularly, and water doesn't mean coffee or juice or this. No, water means water. That's it. Plain simple. And sleep. Give yourself time to recover, to be stressed out. Whether you want to use yoga, meditation, make sure that every night, minimum 7 hours of sleep. And that you don't spend no money. It's all natural.
Is there a more important time of the day that people need to drink water, or is it just all day, every day?
I like, the most important thing of the day, of course, your friend here will tell you, it's breakfast. Because, breakfast meaning breaking the fast. Okay? When you sleep, you're in a catabolic stage. You know what I'm saying? You're sleeping, your body's burning, depending on your diet, might use, fat for fuel, might use muscle for fuel. As you wake up, the most important meal of the day is breakfast. Because you're breaking the fast. You don't want your body to go to catabolic stage and use this muscle for fuel instead of fat. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep as much muscle as possible because keeping as much muscle as possible, whether you're man or women, automatically you go in a catabolic stage, which you're burning and you're speeding metabolism even at rest. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? So breakfast, I do it every day. The minute I wake up, the first thing I do is drink a big cup of water. Right there, right away. Hydrate right away. Boom. Wait a couple of minutes, eat my regular breakfast, and I go through my day like that. So you have to overdo it, but if you don't need to feel thirsty to drink water. That 3 or 4 hours pass by, you didn't eat nothing or drink nothing. Well, that, oh shit, I gotta drink a cup of water,
Exactly. I know John's called me out a few times, like, Joe, you don't need to be drinking that. So he's definitely keeps me on point sometimes. Now, John, I know you and your wife, you send me pictures sometimes of your dinner, and it's so colorful and everything. So how do y'all decide what y'all eat and everything? How do y'all go about that?
We often call it over here eating the rainbow. So you ideally want to have as many colors on your plate as possible. Most people have the color beige on their plate. And by that, I mean, they'll have mashed potatoes with gravy, they'll have a steak, or they'll have chips or whatever, and it's a very bland looking color in terms of your plate. It doesn't look particularly nice. So ideally, I mean, you want to have a variety of vegetables. It could be carrots, it could be broccoli, it could be cauliflower. Find ways as well that you enjoy eating them. That's supposed to the two number one, number two things. The third one is as well, it wants to be ideally as fresh as possible. So for example, if you're going to make a salad or something, don't boil the heck out of it, because you boil all the nutrients out, you boil all the goodness out. Doesn't serve your body. Ideally, what you want to have as much as possible is as much uncooked food and natural food, raw foods, almost as possible. So nuts are usually very, very good. Raw vegetables are very good. And this is something I wasn't raised with. It wasn't something I particularly enjoyed. And my wife struggled for years to get me to eat this stuff. Before actually realizing there are different ways of doing this. Cauliflower puree, for example, is a substitute for mashed potato. It tastes phenomenal. So you basically find ways to incorporate this stuff into your diet. It would be easy for me to tell you, guys, obviously limit fizzy juice, because it ain't going to do your body any good at all. Limit the Monster. In fact, get rid of Monster's drink and energy drinks.
I don't believe in Monster drinks.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, it's so full of caffeine, so full of sugar. Got things for you folks. If you put a baby's tooth in a can of cola or in a Monster or any one of the other brands that are out there, it will dissolve overnight. This tells you, this tells you actually how much sugar is in this kind of stuff, how much acid is in this kind of stuff. Now, acid you're putting that into your system. It is attacking your system. This is why the diseases show up. This is why the illnesses show up. Like Anthony was saying, when you don't have enough sleep, or if it's not good sleep, your body isn't recovering. What happens when you close your eyes and you go through your RPM movements and then you drift into deep sleep, your body is releasing the healing chemicals, which is why you might have a cut on your hand, or you might have a pain in your back or a strain or whatever. You wake up the next day, usually you're going to feel a little bit better. And then you do the same thing again, and the next day and the next day. And before you know it, it's like, oh, actually, I don't feel this pain anymore. That's the reason why. And people need, again, the education from childhood, from schoolhood. You need to know how to use your bodies. But with regards to meals and things, have a balanced diet. It doesn't mean that you never enjoy pizza. It means that it doesn't mean that you always enjoy salads or anything like that, but you find what is sustainable for you. My wife and I were actually working on a cookbook at the moment, which I'm really excited about. We've just started working on it. And because she literally sits and watches all these different programs from cooks and chefs around the world, she's done that now for probably as long as I've been an artist. So you're talking 20 plus years. She's a wealth of information, but she's really shy. So she has me come along and I'm just like, okay, let's do this. Here we go.
I know.
And that's it. And it's encouraging people actually, because here's the crazy thing. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the United States is one of the top 2 most obese countries in the world. Scotland, here's the crazy thing, is up there. It was number 4 at one point in time. We haven't got a much better diet. So we're just like, guys, you've got to educate yourself. So we're just developing a simple book for morning, for, lunch, for dinner, and for, snacks and for enjoyable things. The other thing, again, I just said it there, limit your snacking throughout the day. Your body doesn't need to feed all that time. Actually, statistically, you can go 72 hours and your body will produce a lot of the natural stuff. In times, I think we overfeed our bodies. And that's why we've got such a case of obesity and a lot of health problems that go on. So again, try eat the rainbow.
Yeah, well, people, have bad routines. You know what I'm saying? They like eat little, no breakfast.
Yeah.
If they eat a lunch, if they have work or in the street, it's garbage. And then if they eat dinner, it's like real late at night. You know what I'm saying? And then all that time they were never active or nothing. Yeah. And then they go back to sleep. We know that eating with with still food in your stomach, that's a good way to get you fat. You know what I'm saying? And they eat garbage. They don't eat nothing healthy. They don't want to eat nothing plain because everything got to have taste.
Yeah.
You have a nice beautiful salad, and then they put dressing and butter and this and then. I'm like, well, you're eating something healthy, but now you're killing it with putting shit that is not healthy.
That's it.
That makes no sense. Listen, you don't need none of that. Just eat it the way it is. Period. Wash it, clean it, eat it. as raw and pure as it is. You don't need nothing else. When you eat healthy, you eat healthy, you don't eat it for taste. Okay, you eat it because it's healthy. If you're gonna put taste and put butter and oil and this and that, now you're killing it. That defeats the purpose. So as an American, that a lot of people they will never race like that. Everything was like stick of butter and oil and fry and this and so for them healthy, that's healthy. I said, oh, but it's chicken. No, it's not just chicken. You deep fry
it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, yeah.
Yeah, it's chicken, but you kill it with deep frying it and a stick of butter. No, so now you're killing it, So in their mind, they don't know how to distinguish between what was raw and healthy and was not. I think that chicken is chicken, and no matter how you fry it or cook it, it's the same. No, it's not.
Everything's in the preparation. I mean, I've people as well that can't get this into your head. And one of the things I said, imagine that you were a caveman and all you had to eat was basically what was around you. What would you eat? And the person said, oh, I'd go hunting for meat. I was like, what about if you couldn't hunt for meat? If that isn't around you, then you got to start looking at, your vegetables and all this other stuff, and I honestly believe, and it is, I mean, it's a scientific fact as well. It's not even just me that just believes this now. But the amount of health issues that people have, mental health, physical health, emotional, spiritual health, is massively combined. Again,
nutrition,
well, not just to their inner maintenance, but it's to the amount of garbage that they're eating. And I got news for you folks, wherever the weakest part of your body is, that's where this disease and illness is going to set in.
I mean, the old saying goes, you are what you eat.
Correct.
That is true now more than ever. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? A lot of the health problems that a lot of Americans have, not just obesity, is linked to food. Because you know what? A lot of this food, even they using pesticides and chemicals, and it's not only the how you cooking it is bad, but the food itself, if you know where it comes from or what company is coming from, what kind of pesticide they're using, and a lot of pesticides linked to cancer and God knows other things, So do your research. Don't just take other people's word. They don't care about you. They want you to buy their product. Of course, they're gonna tell you everything you want to hear. Hello. if I want you to buy my product, I'm gonna tell you everything you want to hear. You feel confident and say, okay, Anthony, I believe you. You're an expert. No, don't believe me. Do your own research. Jesus Christ. When I was growing up, we didn't have Google or no search engine to search. You could do it literally in the palm of your hand, find out what's what, and make your decision. You know what I'm saying? If you read a label and it has more than 3 ingredients, it doesn't sound natural, it's not good for you. Because something is natural and raw shouldn't have 10,000 ingredients. I'm sorry.
Dang it. Dadgummit. And from being down in the South, we talk about, Americans, being a little bit worse, but even down south, it's a lot worse. We feel like everything has to be fried in butter. And it's like, what are you telling me? No.
When I see some of these health or the food programs and they put a stick of butter in, I mean, we put like a tablespoon in or a teaspoon, small amounts. You guys, just stick an entire log of butter into one meal, and you're just like, oh my goodness.
Remember Paula Dean, the cook? I remember one time I was just channel surfing. And I'm like, let me see this. She put 2 sticks of butter in a pan, and I'm like, oh my God! It's like, who eat this stuff? I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. We use butter, but not like that. We put maybe half a spoon to make the rice and put a little oil to give it a little flavor. She put like 2 sticks of butter. I'm like, no wonder people are so fat, overweight, and have diabetes and high cholesterol. And like, that's not normal.
No. I mean, the thing is as well, it's predominantly the rich as well, because I got news for you folks. Poor people can't afford to stick, giant sticks of butter. But that's actually what's coming out more and more now. It's the rich that know how to make money that are so uneducated because they're like, oh, well, I just put a stick of butter in, who cares? I go buy another one. It's like, yeah, but imagine that swimming around in your arteries,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there are actually benefits to not having money, but most importantly, the education. Like we said, sorry, Joe, go back to you.
No, y'all are good. I'm just taking notes and being like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do this. And just really absorbing it all in. But I'm trying to sit here and think about the difference in how a person would feel a week later from changing their eating habits.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm fixing to. Like, y'all have made me want to. And so I can't wait to see next week at this time how I feel differently, because I have a feeling I'm going to just be happier. I'm going to be more energized, and I'm just going to feel just all around completely different. And
can I feel this one, Gio? Actually, sorry, I just while it's in my mind to do this. What often happens when people eat the amount of junk that they eat? All your energy, you feel tired. That's the first thing. When you eat big donuts or big cookies or all of that kind of stuff, it goes down. Your energy level just descends massively because all your energy is going towards processing and digesting that stuff.
That's right.
And you get to the point where, again, you do feel like garbage. Like Anthony was saying earlier on, I know what it was like, what kind of training and mindset is needed to be a bodybuilder. I know what it means to starve yourself, to shred water, to, eat nothing but jacket potatoes, to soak everything up. And then you feel you're in so much pain because you have so much lactic acid around you. And you're like,
and you cramp up too.
That's it. And I mean, the last show that I did, I was laid on the floor for most of the day because it was so painful to stand. And I'm like, great, I got trophies. Does it serve me now? Yeah, it gets my foot in the door. So as people are aware, oh, well, this guy's actually done this. But aside from that, I'm like, was it worth it? No. I live a much happier, healthier lifestyle now that I'm not competing. I haven't been doing in years. And that, again, the diet is good. The mind is good. All of those things have to be in balance.
No, but people don't realize that when you eat healthy or as healthy as possible, that alone is going to take a lot of stuff away. Because you know what? When you eat junk, you're eating what we call empty calories.
Yeah.
They have no nutrition value whatsoever. None. You know what I'm saying? No wonder a lot of guys are always tired, and then they want to drink. They want to drink energy drinks. Listen, your own body produces energy. Your body builds energy. If you were eating healthy, you will have energy for days, not just for a couple of hours or at work. You will have energy for days. Well, you have no energy because you're eating junk calories. They have no nutrition value, no vitamins, no minerals, and then you want to substitute that with chemical bullshit. Because all these energy drinks, if you see it, or it's garbage. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot disguise. You cannot put a Band-Aid or something that needs surgery. Okay. It's not gonna happen. Okay. If you don't fix the problem within. Start eating healthy. Stop being lazy. Eat healthy. Work out regularly. The best gift you could give to yourself is your own health. Period. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it for nobody. Don't do it because I want to look for girls. I want to look good. No, do it for you. Do it for you because you want to be healthy. You want to look good. You want to feel good. And the rest, trust me, the more you do it, it becomes a lifestyle. It becomes something that, just like you need to eat every day, guess what? You need to work out. Just like you need to drink a cup of water regularly, I need to work out. Just like you need to sleep, because I don't care who you are, sooner or later, you need to sleep. Your body shuts down automatically. I need to work out. Make your workout part of your daily routine. That's what it's there for. Your body was made to move. Move it. You know what I'm saying? You move it.
Yes, sir. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrific. Now, can a person work out too much over the course of a day?
Of course. Too much and too little. Too little is no good. But again, do a routine is specifically for you. Whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying? If you're just a weekend warrior, you do a little bit of everything. If you train specifically for something, that's different. That's not health. That's something that you train to be better, whether it's basketball, football, whatever. That's different. You know what I'm saying? So find what's for you and make it fun. It's not serious. You're not competing. You're not going to Olympics. You're not trying to beat your neighbor. Do it for yourself. Be your own competition. You're not there for nobody. You do it for yourself. Stop mimicking other people's routine. That's their routine, not yours. Make your own routine. You study your body, what you need, what you do. Have a nice balanced program. You know what I'm saying? Hit you make your body parts as even as possible. You know what I'm saying? And apply a little stretching over here, a little cardio over there, because you need both. You know, you know, study. You know, you are your own lab. You know what I'm saying? You're your own lab rat. Study yourself, and the more you study yourself, the more you know yourself, what you need. Oh, I'm more stiff. Yeah, I got flexibility and I'm strong, but my stretching is not so good. Well, apply more stretching. I might be flexible and strong, but my cardio is not so great. Do a little more cardio. You know, play with it. It's a lifelong thing. You know.
Absolutely. And then, like I was saying to you last week, Joe, I think either on the show or off air, you got to study with that which you desire to become. And that's again, I was talking to my wife about this earlier on. People seem to finish high school or finish college or university and think the education just stops. You're being educated every single day, you know, and you choose actually whether or not you're educated in a positive way or not. And little education there, because Anthony was just taking a drink and I noticed what he was drinking out of. Be mindful of what you're drinking out of. Plastic is not good. Science is now showing. Well, 80% of people the other day, I don't know if I shared this with you, Joe, 80% of people that scientists had monitored and taken blood samples for have now shown up with microplastics in their blood system. This is happening. You know, and you don't want that stuff in there. So ideally, some sort of a copper vessel, like I think what Anthony was drinking out of there, you know, glasses, things like that, you know,
stainless steel.
Perfect, exactly. You know, something that is not going to give off plastic enzymes, because all our water is held obviously now in plastic a lot. I don't know about for you guys in the States, we have a lot of good, I mean, Scotland is #1, I believe, actually in the world for drinking water right now. It's very proud of it. It's very proud of its drinking heritage because they've spent so much time and money to make that right. So public water is good. But if you can't get public water, Anthony, in fact, in the States, you probably know, you guys will know this better than I do. In the States, if you can't get access to, you know, public water from your tap, like it isn't of good quality, what can you do?
Get a filter.
Yep.
Bingo. Yes.
Buy your own filter. I'm born and raised in New York, and in New York, water always been known to be like sewer water. I mean, it was always dirty. I mean,
the River Thames water.
Don't matter if you go to the East River or the West. I mean, you could. The water looked like it was like greenish gray. It looked like now it's, you know, it took years, it took decades to finally clean those waters. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the same water we use. You know what I'm saying? But it took years to clean those water because a lot of those companies around the shore was dumping stuff in the water, and it was a mess. I mean, even the beaches weren't even safe to go in. I mean, because you see stuff floating all around, needles and stuff. I mean, it was real nasty. You know what I'm saying? So imagine drinking that water. Hell no. You know, so you know, it was, you know, it was advice, which, you know, sometimes you got to do it and invest a filter and get your own filter. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're buying water it's supposed to be clean. It's not clean, so you have to buy your own filter at home and have that.
The only thing that comes into my mind with that is because I'm a teeth person, you know, back in the day, is, you know, any bottled water doesn't have fluoride in it usually. And so that's how a lot of people get their fluoride for their teeth is through like tap water, so on and so forth. So if you're not, you know, drinking any type of water like that, you need to be mindful of it and make sure, my recommendation, to go to the dentist and have them put some fluoride on your teeth, because it's very important in how long they stick with you.
yeah, because, you know, look what happened with Flint, Michigan. You know, the pipes, you know, a lot of people die, and for years people getting sick and getting cancer because, you know, the pipes, they're using old pipes and they had full of lead, and the lead in the water was so high, and for years they were just playing it out like, oh, the water's safe to drink, to find out it was not safe to drink. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people do your own research. You know, do your own research. You know, you could buy water boil it to some amount of temperature, and clean it out. You buy filters. They're not really that expensive. And now they have tons of brands in the market. They're good. You know what I'm saying? And you know, boil your own water. Use filters and storage at home. Don't just trust the pipe water. 'Cause sometimes the pipe water, they have either had lead or they're not clean. So don't be naive. Do your own research.
Yes, I would say more so now, don't drink it from the faucet, just because, Lord, if you just think about how my pipes look in my house, oh my gosh.
Right. In New York for years, if you don't use the faucet overnight, and then in the morning you open it, it first is brown for a while, and then it becomes clear. You know what I'm saying? So that's how bad it was. Yeah.
John, anything you want to add to that?
I'm just thinking, Victorian London wasn't much better. They used to put they didn't have sewers or a sewage system. They didn't have toilets. Certainly indoors. So people, the poorer classes, would literally just throw it out onto the streets. They did this from like 1500s up to late 1800s. And that would trickle out into the River Thames. People are then drinking that water, and basically they're drinking feces. And then they wondered why people were getting cholera and typhoid and typhus and everything else. Their answer to this problem then was for people to drink beer. My wife's still convinced that it would be a weak beer. But I'm like, that would explain how we got as much industry done as possible, because most of the time people were drunk. And this is what was going on. And the Houses of Parliament were almost uninhabitable because the smell was so bad. And it was only like in the 1860s that they turned around and said, we need to do something about this because we can't come to work every day with a peg on our nose. All of that's true stuff. So it's good to see the steps that people are taking, but equally, I think 2,000 years from now, when cancer is cured by a pill, and as is the majority of diseases we have now, people will be like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that these guys live like this,
Yeah. Oh yeah. They look back at us like, wow.
So primitive.
As smart as they thought they were not that smart,
Yeah.
Such good information today. Oh my gosh. I have a notebook full of stuff I need to change and do, and oh gosh. All it takes is doing it.
Yeah. Remember, your health is your wealth. Nothing else matters.
Absolutely. And, I think it's so important to talk about it, especially, in this day and age, because especially seemingly with young girls, don't know what it's like for you guys in the States. It'd be good to hear your perspective on it. But it seems to be with young girls, they'll go out, they'll drink, they'll put on a ton of weight because the amount of sugars that's in the alcohol and stuff, that's where the weight gain is majoritarily going to come from. And then, when the 20s, 30s, then they say, oh, well, I want to start doing something about it. Guys, girls, if you can do something, prevention is better than the cure. I would rather people, didn't go down the mindset like some of my youth group used to do, which was, oh, well, I'm going to eat that candy bar. I'm going to eat those 4 candy bars and 3 packets of crisps and a can of Coke. I don't care if I get fat. And it's like, okay, we need to do something about that mindset. And that mindset, wherever it's being reinforced, is a really dangerous thing for people to get into. And then, of course, the obvious argument is people usually come back with, well, it's my body. Let me do what I want with it. It's like, well, if you saw someone about to jump off a cliff, would you just let them do it or crash into a wall? No, you wouldn't. So, it's interesting, but it's a big issue over here. I would say more so with females on the whole than it is with males. But it's there's a lot of interesting stuff for sure that's going on.
No, it's everywhere. It's everywhere because that is the mentality. It's always my body. I do what I want, but then they're not thinking down the line.
Correct.
And then finally, when they have all these health problems, they will wish that 10 years ago they would have changed. Now they drinking tons of pills, and I remember one of my good friend, Kurt Myers. Kurt Myers, he's the owner. He was one of my trainers in Soho, New York. Now he's a co-owner of it's called the Dog Pound. in New York and Los Angeles. And when he was growing up in high school, he was in high school football. He weighed over 300 pounds.
Wow.
Okay. And the doctor told him straight, listen, if you do something about your eating, and working out, you're not gonna live long.
Yeah.
And just like that, he took it upon himself to start eating good and working out. And now he's another celebrity trainer just like me. But it shouldn't take your doctor to tell you, listen, if you don't change your eating habits, you're gonna die because, and he does have he has heart problems, but thank God because he changed it. It's not as bad as it could have been. Otherwise, he won't live this long. But
Definitely.
you shouldn't take your doctor to tell you, listen, you don't change your eating habits and go work out, you're not gonna live long, because that's scary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's my body. I do what I want, but why you need to take it to that level where you're not live long. You're gonna be there for your kids and for your family. You're gonna got tons of medical complication. They got so many pills, put down your throat. It's not do good either. You know what I'm saying? So why let yourself go to that route? I mean, that's not healthy. That's not. You can be miserable too. So yeah, it's your body. I do what I want, but you'll be miserable. You'll be sad. So it makes no sense to let yourself go that far. It's gonna be 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, folks, we've always talked about it, that your body, is is housing for the most amazing supercomputer that's known to man in your mind. I mean, you've more power in your little finger than you actually realize. And the way that you use it is really down to you. You are in control, despite what you may think, despite what you may say, and despite what other people may limit you. You are in control, and your conditioning and how you allow yourself to be conditioned, is down to you. It doesn't matter your age. And if you're 60, 70, 80, you've got a ton of health problems and you're sitting there saying, well, I've already got the health problems, guys, what's it going to do for me? It's like, well, put it this way. If you continue down the path and the trajectory that you're on, that's where you're going to end up, and it's only going to continue to get worse. If you try what we're talking about on the show, making those changes, starting to develop yourself, learning how to breathe, learning how to sit, learning how to actually to work out or exercise, even just moving. Even if you're waiting for a hip replacement, you've got a Zimmer frame. Hey, you can walk up and down the street, and you can use that Zimmer frame. I know, because I've got a client that's just had 2 hip replacements done. So, guys, don't limit yourself. Don't come back and say, well, I can't do this because of this. I can't do that. It's nonsense. The only counts are what you actually allow into your life. Don't allow yourself to be limited by what somebody else has said. And I think it's so important, again, like we've said, all the time, educate yourself, educate. You've got the access to the entire world library on your cell phones.
Yeah.
You've got everything that you need.
It comes down to 2 things: laziness and priority. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Laziness and priority, because it's amazing to me that people could spend a lot of money on garbage.
Yeah.
They got no problem when it comes to cigarettes or drinking or buying things that they don't need.
Yeah.
When it comes to their own health, they're too expensive. I don't got the time for that. What?
Yeah.
It's amazing to me how people spend, they're lazy and they spend their priorities. They prioritize things that they don't need to make it unhealthy, instead of things that make them healthy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I have a picture of it's one of the first Greek schools of thought, and it's a picture with Patanjali and Aristotle standing together and having this conversation. And I laugh at this sometimes, because if they were here today and saw how people are using their minds and their brains, they'd be like, we came here looking for intelligent life. I think we must have taken a wrong turn. It's amazing. I mean, you can learn literally how to be financially free just by Googling it and watching videos on YouTube. You can learn how to invest. You can learn how to do anything now for free. And again, people just want the easy way.
They're just lazy. They don't want it. They say they want it. They don't want it. They want somebody else to do it for them. Okay? No. Certain things in life you do yourself.
Yeah.
It starts with you, finish with you. You cannot let certain things that comes to your body, your financial stability, or it's you. You cannot not everything gotta be, he's gonna do it. No, certain things You got to do it. And of course, don't complain about not having what you want, or no complain about not being healthy, because it starts with you.
That's it.
Certain things you got to get up and do yourself. Sorry.
I mean, by a person's actions, you shall know them. And, like you said, you will know how much a person wants something, whether or not they're going to go for it or not. And if they do, great. At least then you've got someone to work with and you can do this stuff with them. If they don't, okay, moving on,
Yeah.
And I think
nobody in life that wants something, only say it. Because if you really want it, you do it.
That's it. And here's the thing, folks, in all honesty, it's a lesson that I learned, many years ago. I was going through some difficult times, and it's one of the greatest lessons that I think, we can share with you. If people show up to help you along your way and along your journey, great, wonderful, hallelujah. But if they don't, you can still choose to do it yourself. And, you are responsible for you.
It wouldn't be discipline if somebody else is going to be on the side. Because discipline ultimately means self-discipline. You're responsible for you, nobody else. If you got a little help, fine. If you don't have a little help, I always train by myself. I've been trained since I was 6 years old. I'm 49 now. You know what I'm saying? Even now in the house, you know what I'm saying? When it's my day, whether I'm with somebody or I'm somebody, I train myself. Why? Because it's not for him, or to look good in the gym, or to get attention for the ladies. I'm doing it for me. When it's that time, no matter what's going on. But, that's a mindset that you go apply to everything in life. It's not just to work out, because you go with your family, with your job, whatever. There's a mindset you go apply for everything. When you self-proficient and you believe what you're doing, and you're doing for yourself and for nobody else, I mean, that's the great reward, but we live such a lifetime that where people so superficial. Everything about that. Less of me and more of that.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder why you so messed up. You're giving priority to things that are not important.
The thing about it as well, Anthony, is that a lot of the mental health issues, a lot of the physical issues would be almost eradicated like that. If people, again, would do a little exercise, if people were more interested in their inner stuff going on, then if they paid as much attention, or even 10% as much attention to the inner stuff going on as they do with the external stuff and the gossiping and the fighting and the wars and all this kind of stuff, and who looks good and who doesn't look good, and all this that happened at the BAFTAs and the Emmys and all that kind of stuff, if they actually just sat there and said, little bit focus inside, listening, what's going on, learning how to breathe, learning how to sit, you'd have a lot of these issues that would be eradicated.
Yeah, people don't realize, that none of that matters. Yeah, if you don't take care of yourself, listen, you give everything else priority, your promise is still going to be there.
Yeah.
You don't take care of your problem, you don't take care of yourself, no matter how much attention you give to everything else, at the end of the day, no matter how much good you feel, how many likes you got, how many views you got, your problem's still going to be there. If you don't fix that, you're always going to be miserable and sad and unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? You first, it's nothing wrong, but I don't know why people make it being selfish a bad thing, because you're first. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you don't give yourself priority, nothing else is going to work anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know what the mentality, it's wrong to be selfish. What are you talking about? First me, second me, third me. If I'm not mentally well and I'm not healthy, I don't give myself the time to recover and heal, what I'm good for, to help other people. If I'm messed up, I can help you.
That's it.
If I have a mental breakdown, I can help you. If anything, you're gonna end up helping me. I mean,
and the crazy thing is that it's the people that complain at you for looking after yourself that are going to leave you when you do have your mental breakdown.
Yeah, but that's like the old saying goes. You know what? You want to see who your true friends are?
Yeah.
Go through bad times, and you see who's gonna stand next to you, and you see who your friends and family are. Because you know what? When they need you, everybody's there. But then when you need them, you feel like, wow. Yeah. I thought you're my family. I thought you're my friend. Listen, it's good to help people. It's good to have family. It's good to have friends. It's good to have acquaintances and co-workers, whatever. But you're responsible for you.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They call you selfish, fine. It is what it is, you know?
It's as simple as that. And that is the reality, folks, that again, like we've said, that is why it's so important to take care of your own inner engineering, because you ideally want to get to a place where, great, you've got family around you, but again, God forbid anything happens, that you will be good. You can continue. And obviously you see that a lot with husbands, wives, boyfriend, girlfriend, either leave them, pass away, go off to university, whatever, and their lives just crumble. And that's really what we're working through here a lot. So what are your thoughts, Joe?
This has been like mind-blowing. I have loved every second of this, and I have so much changing to do on myself. So I want everybody to know you're not alone. I get to change too with you. But you've got to make the agreement with yourself to do it and stick to it. So
I think what we should do, Joe, actually, to encourage people as well, is almost do like a weekly or daily check-in thing, to let people know, look, you're not going on this journey by yourself. Everybody's in one form or another, everybody's on some form of a journey, and whether or not it's conditioning your mind, conditioning your body, conditioning your spirit, whatever it is, you can choose to change to get from where you are to where you want to be. If you're not there, don't just settle.
And it costs you nothing.
That's it.
It costs you nothing.
It gives you almost everything.
It only takes a decision with yourself, an agreement with yourself to tell yourself, listen, I want to do good for me. I want to take the first step for me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. I don't care what people say about being selfish or self-centered. I don't, listen, it's for me, my health. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Gosh, this has been crazy. And yes, cost you nothing. It cost us nothing to do a daily check-in to let people know that they're not alone. So we'll definitely do that as well. And this has just been crazy. Anthony, I can't thank you enough. We could not have had a better guest on today. Don't you agree, John?
It's been tremendous fun, Anthony. We want to thank you so much. And we hope you'll come back again, because I think we're just scratching the surface.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, we want to thank you so much for watching. Of course, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, because it could be the very thing they need to hear in their hour of struggle. Come and visit us at the always growing, expanding battlesweallface.com, where you can get help with your family, with your business, with your personal, relational, spiritual. We're also adding some really cool things there now for relaxation as well. And we've got all sorts of just really, really cool and amazing things that we're going to be bringing out over the course of this year in 2022 as well. And I think we're all covered. Joe, is there anything you want to add just before we wrap up the show?
Hey, if you got any questions, make sure and ask them. So when we get Anthony back on here, we can address them and make sure that we answer your questions, or he might even go through them and answer them beforehand. So if you want to know something, or if you don't quite understand anything, make sure to speak up so we can clarify it. Never be too shy to ask.
Absolutely, folks. And remember, study that which you desire to become. And on that note, we'll catch you next time, same place, same time, for more of the battles we'll face. Have a phenomenal week, guys. Take care.